And so we're here today asking the questions, what is black leadership? What's happened to black leaders? We're going to be joined in a few minutes with Lenny McAllister. He's going to tell us from a journalist perspective where the leaders are. Okay, great. Well, hey everyone, back again. Sylvia Snowden here with Lenny McAllister, Chicago TV and radio personality. He's going to be telling us from a media perspective today, Lenny, what's going on with the leadership, where they are, what we need to do to get them out here, and why we haven't seen them in a while. Or so they say. We haven't seen them in a while. We're going to ask them whether or not that's even true. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
No complaints?
That's good.
It's gorgeous. It's summer. It's Chicago, so I couldn't be better.
It's not 105 heat index. Right?
And say praise the Lord right after that.
Right? Tell me about
Definitely. So, I have to say, I was born, raised here, loved it here my whole life, but people say the city's changed, particularly black Chicago. We used to be this really thriving community, and a lot of people say that it's changed. What do you feel about black Chicago today?
Well, at this point in time, it has changed. I mean, from what I'm seeing more of the underclass. I'm seeing more of the despair, the hopelessness. What we need to do as far as a leadership perspective is get back to a point in time where there's a bustling black middle class, not just necessarily some folks that are doing well. It needs to be vibrant. That's how we're going to not only grow our middle class and become functional and stable again, but that's how we're going to get the underclass and pull them up as well.
Okay, so I want to ask you this. When we talk about leadership, there's a lot of back and forth about what that even entails. What, Lenny McAllister, do you say a leader is?
Mentoring, an example, visible, always on the clock, somebody that is a visionary, somebody that sees the bigger picture outside of themselves, somebody that understands that they're truly a conduit for change at all times. They understand that whether it's walking down the street or talking to a high school or college student, or how they spend their money or where they spend their money, those are examples of what other people's behaviors need to be modeled after. That's a leader. It's somebody that stands up when it's not popular. It's somebody that does the atypical thing at a time where the atypical thing is going to elevate a people or elevate a society. Those are the type of people we need more of in our society today.
Okay, so when you talk about our society, I want to bring it back to just black Chicago for a second.
Okay.
That sort of person you just described, is that person here? Or are those people here? Yes or no?
I think they're here. I think they're dormant in some instances. I think they're at the initial stages of rising back up in other instances. It's really a matter of getting that synergy together. I know that is a played out word from a couple of years ago. I know it's no longer in vogue.
Right.
But we do need that synergy of young people that are doing well in business, doing well in media, being influential, and getting them tied together and saying, what are the 2 or 3 goals that we need as black Chicagoans in order to bring up the underclass, in order to bring up the teenagers, in order to improve educational performances, in order to create more job opportunities. It's going to take us to start tying together and really lifting it up to the next level. And truth be told, we're going to have to get to a point in time where we say either A, get on board, or B, get out the way.
Okay, now you said a word a couple of seconds ago that I want to go back to. You said the leadership in the city was dormant.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what are some tangible steps you think we can take to wake it up, to get it moving and get it going and get it visible again?
No, one of the things I'm saying when I'm saying dormant is it's not doing all that it can do.
Okay.
I mean, they may be around, they may be doing good things. So I'm not saying nobody's doing anything.
Okay.
But what I am saying is that it's clearly evident that it's not enough. Because Chicago should not look like this. The south side of Chicago, the west side of Chicago, black Chicago should not look like this. Not with the money that we have, not with the millionaires that we have in this town, and not with the historical influence that Chicago has had throughout the nation on African Americans. So in that sense, we are dormant. Now, what do we do to rake them up? Number one, we have to start living the statistics. If you are black middle class, if you have a college education, if you're bringing in good money, you still need to understand what the majority of black Chicagoans are experiencing on the south side, the west side of Chicago. We have to have some sense of pride. We have to have some sense of involvement in community again. We can't be so stratified when it comes to our economics or where we live as far as socioeconomics. We have to get back to a point in time where there's a common identity as Americans and as black Americans, and boiling down to black Chicagoans and saying, listen, this did not look like this 25 years ago. It looks like this now, and it doesn't have to stay this way moving forward. Just because there were projects here, there are no longer projects in Chicago. Cabrini Green is no more.
Out of there.
So, just the same.
Okay.
Do we have to have the same level of violence? Do we have to see the same disrespect of our women? Do we have to see the same drug use, alcohol use, abuse, dropout rates, and everything else? No. But that's where leadership comes into play. That visionary has to see a better future, has to see that we can get to a point in time where the dropout rate leaves 50, 55, 60% and drops down into the low 20s. We can see doctors on the streets again. The kid that is failing in 5th and 6th grade can still become a neurosurgeon, can still win a Nobel Peace Prize. That takes vision, and then from there it has to take persistence to get that kid from grammar school and struggling through college and beyond.
Oh, well, this is what I want to know then. How do we sort of bring all the elements together to get them to coalesce? How can we get Generation X and Generation Y in a room with the baby boomers and go, look, we've got to do this together. Let's come to the table and move it forward. What's it going to take?
Well, the first thing it's going to take is a set of goals. What do we want to do? What needs to be done?
Okay.
Is it improving education? Is it improving jobs? Is it a mixture of all these things? Let's identify them and then move one step at a time. If it's small groups, so be it. If we can get a couple of baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, get them together, so be it. If we can't, you get X and Y together. If you can't get X and Y together, you just get X and move forward. The bottom line is persistence. People follow folks that genuinely care. People follow folks that are genuinely trying to make a difference. And if you can do those things, people will stop looking at the generational differences. They'll stop looking at the socioeconomic differences. They may stop looking at complexion differences or fraternity or sorority differences. They'll start looking at the heart. They'll start looking at the merit. And that's where you start changing. I'll never forget something that some young folks told officers from CAPS. The CAPS officer said, "When are you all going to stop wilding out? Don't you realize that you all are kids? Why are you wilding out like you're grown and bad?" They said, "You know what? When adults start being adults again, we'll start being kids again. You start being adults and lead us, we will promise you we want to be led." Who's going to start being the adult in the room when it comes to that? Who's going to love the kids enough past their frustration, past their current problems and struggles, past some of the mistakes they made early in life in order to get them to the other side? Malcolm X didn't find himself until 7 years in jail. We give up on our young people by the time they're 13 years old. That comes from baby boomers not having the patience, not having the ability to message with these young people, and giving up. That comes from Generation X chasing the American dream versus building the American dream. And that comes from Generation Y not understanding how to connect with the previous two generations.
That's interesting. Now what I want you to do now is look right into that camera for me. Please look at them and make your plea.
The plea would be, Generation Y, we love you. We don't care about the tattoos. We don't care about some of the mistakes that you have made. We love you to the core. Generation X, it's time for us to rise up. It's time for us to get together. We don't have the debilitating views of women versus men leadership. We don't have the issues between rich versus poor. Let's get out of it right now. Let's be historic. Let's not start chasing material items or make our mark by way of how much money or what kind of status we can have. It is time for us to fix our communities in Black Chicago and Black America the same exact way generations before us did it. If you look at the civil rights movement, it was led by some people as young as 15 going to jail, sitting in jails for sit-ins, all the way up to people that died as old men at 39 years old. It's time for you and me to do the same exact thing. Maybe not necessarily die, hopefully not, but it is time to commit our lives to something that truly, truly matters.
And there you have it. This has been Sylvia Snowden. I'm here with Lenny McAllister. We're on the south side of Chicago. This is Second City News. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much.